Hey, this is LaRon's Trading Playbook. I am LaRon, and this is the weekly Trading Playbook. Here we cover two things: bias, where price is likely headed, and narrative, the path price takes to get there. Educational purposes only, not financial advice. Today we cover news, macro, and futures per usual. And as you can see, we don't have any major news until Wednesday this week. I'm expecting high to intermediate resistance, lower probability plays on Monday and Tuesday since there is no news, and I'm sure the market will be anticipating the CPI reports. Um, we have unemployment as usual on Thursday at 8:30, and we have GDP, prelim GDP and core CPE price index reports coming out on Friday. I'm expecting the bigger movements of the week to happen after Wednesday, obviously. But we shall see. Before we move on, though, if you treat trading like capital allocation, scan the QR code or go to the URL at the bottom of the screen and join the Trading Playbook Discord. Post your plan, get feedback, and run the liquidity rate model with me. Let's see what Dixie is doing, shall we? All right, so this is the US dollar index weekly chart. Hold on, let me expand this out. Okay, so as you can see, last week we had a stop hunt. We got above these weekly highs. We did reach my target for the week, and I don't like that we retraced so far down within the weekly range. We did close with above the 50% mark. Yeah, we did. We closed above the equilibrium, but I feel like this retracement was a little bit too deep. So we could be within this range. It could be an in week range trading week this week on US dollar, but with CPI coming out, I'm sure we're going to get some momentum from that. But depending on whether we are hot or not, uh, will be contingent on what the US dollar does. I am expecting, I'm anticipating inflation is probably going to come in hotter than usual with everything going on in Iran, coupled with just everything that's going on in the markets right now. But I could be wrong. I have been wrong in the past, so we'll just have to wait and see. I would like to see price reach back up up here, but I'm not. It doesn't necessarily have to do that immediately. Um, we probably get. See, yeah, we so we made this high on Tuesday last week, and we haven't been able to get above this high here. We do keep making high. We did make higher highs each day following in an attempt to um, get above these highs, but we weren't. Price wasn't able to do that. We did close in the red last Friday. I'm thinking when price usually starts to do this, it usually wants to take out some sell side liquidity, and I'm anticipating that this low will be taken out, this daily low. Um, dig into this inefficiency here, and then what we do from there is up in the air. I'm anticipating that we'll probably reach this low by Wednesday, and if CPI, if we get a decent CPI report, we could shoot up. But if well, it's kind of strange because the job market isn't looking that great right now, and um, with everything going on in the Middle East, inflation is definitely likely to increase. We're not necessarily going to see those inflation increases immediately, but we will eventually, and that will put the Fed in a bit of a pickle because they usually want to decrease rates when to stimulate the economy and um, make money cheaper to borrow, so that kind of stimulates the job market. But if inflation increases because of the activities going on in the Middle East right now or Western Asia, that would put the Fed in a bit of a conundrum. But we'll see, we'll see. But like I said, I would like to see the the dollar reach down below this 98.435 level um by Wednesday, and then what we do after Wednesday is up in the air. We could go down and take out the this month. I think this is a new month open gap, right? Yeah. So this is a new month open gap for March. Um, and we could take that out and trade below it, or we could take out this daily high here. I would like to see us break out of this range. If I obviously I don't trade the dollar index, but if I did, I would want to see us break out of this range here, either above this daily high or below this daily low. Um, let's see what we're looking at on the 4 hour. Yeah, so as we could see that on the daily chart as well, but we took out this liquidity up here and retrace lower, taking out this liquidity down here. I think price would probably wants to go lower, take out these relative equal lows, and probably reach out down for this low. That's what, like I said, I want to see is break out of this range before anything significant happens. That's what I'm expecting. And I would like to see is break down to the downside and then retrace higher. So let's move on to see what the euro dollar is doing. Usually the opposite of what the US dollar index is doing. So yeah, we took out these lows as I was anticipating. Um what we do from here is up in the air. Hold on, let me draw that out really quick. Got a stop hunt. So this is looking pretty good for the bullish case on euro dollar. We did sweep these lows. It's looking pretty healthy. It's still looking bullish on the weekly chart at least. Whereas holding above the key levels, I like that we tested this order block and we're respecting this order block here. We swept these lows, so um we could reach back higher and take and retest this what is this order block, and contingent on whether it acts as resistance or not will determine my longer term view. But as of now, um I would like to see price retrace back up and retest this order block. Is it going to act as um an inverse order block and act as resistance, or are we going to just shoot through it? I would like to see what price does when we get there. Yeah, we're holding the line pretty well, pretty well here. We did take out this low, took out this low, retrace higher, which is the opposite of what we saw on the US dollar index. So yeah, it's looking like it's a high probability we retest this inefficiency. This inefficiency here, this liquidity void and 1 day order block here. So let's check out what the 10-year yields are doing at the moment. Um, Actually, let's before we move on, I kind of want to look at the hourly chart here. Oh yeah, that's looking nice. That's looking nice for the bullish case. We took out these relative equal lows here. Got above this order block, got above it, came back down, retested it, continued higher. So yeah, I anticipate it's looking it's pretty nice, some decent looking liquidity up here. I like this. Let's see. Um, so yeah, I'm anticipating us to reach above this liquidity into this old daily bullish order block. Will it act as resistance? We shall see. So now let's check what 10-year yields are doing. Looking pretty bullish. As I expected, we did get a pretty decent bullish reaction here. And of course, this is related to what's going on in the Middle East right now. I do anticipate prices continuing higher. Doesn't necessarily have to reach um, above my main target here, which are these 1 week relative equal highs. But I do anticipate that price will at least reach the this old daily high here by the end of this week. We don't necessarily have to do that though. But I don't expect us to retrace too much lower. Price is pretty bullish right now. Yeah, we're respecting the, respecting this order block as of now. I do expect this order block to hold in the near term. But if we don't, then we'll probably retest this inefficiency here. Let's see. I think we'll probably retest that. This is 4 hour. Yeah, so if this doesn't hold, I expect this inefficiency to hold. If we don't, then I would be surprised, to be honest. But we shall see. So with macro mapped out, let's move on to futures. So this is the NASDAQ weekly chart. Let me expand this out. Hold on really quick. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we still have yet to break out of this weekly dealing range here. Um, as I've stated in the past, I want to see price come down and retest this 1 week order block before continuing higher. I anticipate that price will reach down into here. It could possibly go even lower than this weekly order block. And there's a lot to retest. It could go as far as to retest this breaker and this inefficiency here. That's definitely a key. Matter of fact, let me draw that out. One week. Let me expand that out. So we could even come down as low as this breaker here. Um, Not that it's guaranteed that this will hold, but I just like to have a visual of these things on the chart. these higher time frame PD arrays, because when they hold, they usually there's usually a pretty big reaction from these levels here. So that's swing trading is where the real money is in trading. You don't want to have to get in here every day and trade. If you take one or two good trades a month, um, it can like you don't have to trade every day, and that's how I prefer to trade. But we haven't been getting a lot of opportunities with us and within this tight range. We've been in this tight range for a while now. I think since November. Yeah, this is November here. Um, so yeah, um, I would like to see, as I said, I would like to see us come down, and take out these lows. But price is being pretty stubborn and staying stuck within this tight range here. Let's go down to the um daily. Yeah, so this is my the Dylan range. So if I were to take a shorter term swing trade, I would want to based on the daily chart, I would want to see us break out of this range first. Um, Definitely looks like we want to close to the downside here. We close below the new week opening gap or last week's new week opening gap. Um, and we're just kind of going back and forth through the gap, disrespecting the gap all week, which is a consolidation signature. And honestly, don't have a particular bias. I would just honestly just trade based off of price action. When price is trading within these tight ranges, that's essentially what you have to do. I'm not forming a now. If I was a betting man, put a gun to my head, I would. It looks to me like price wants to take out this low, but we don't. As you can see, we've been staying above this low for the past few weeks now. So we could continue to chop around this range this week, but with hopefully CPI report breaks us out of this range either to the upside or the downside. It really doesn't matter. Um, but it would be nice to trade out of this range, But yeah, I don't have any particular strong bias. I'm not like I'm not necessarily 100% like confident that we're gonna for sure break down to the downside, but it is looking like that's what it wants to do. But this is a strange time, so who knows? I'll just trade it based on um hourly. I would use the hourly charts as my long term charts right now, and that's been playing out pretty well. Um, yeah, so waiting to break out of this range here. Would like to see us break. If we are going to go to the upside, would like to see us take out this low, preferably even as low as this low. But we don't necessarily have to go all the way down here. As long as we take out, as long as we take out this low before going higher, I would be pretty confident that we go take out this buy side liquidity here. I'm not necessarily anticipating that happening right now. Would like to see lower prices, as I said before, based on higher time frame. Even though we're pretty stagnant, stuck within a range, but I would like to see lower prices in the short term. And we are following bearish order flow at the moment. Broke down below this order block, came back up, hit the order block, respected it, continued lower, and we closed below the new week opening gap. And let's check out um ES, see what that's doing. Same, pretty much same thing. Um, Different personality, same, pretty much same bias. But ES it is a lot stronger than NQ right now. But it would be nice to come down and take out this low, possibly reach for this 1 month fair value gap here. We don't necessarily have to do that. Definitely not anytime soon. Um, but in the long term, it would be nice for us to come down here and retest this. As you can see, this is that same um, breaker on the weekly chart. I don't think ES is going to come down that low, though. To be honest with you, we have this order block here. It was respected in the past, but we do have some decent relative equal lows here, though. So there's that. I don't want to mark. I don't want too much on the chart, but you can see these relative equal lows there. I'm probably gonna just for the visual. Hold on. So yeah, we do have these relative equal lows here, looking pretty nice. And not looking like a nice target. So if we did get below this low with momentum, pretty positive that we would reach for this liquidity here. It's this inefficiency has not been retested, and it's a good spot to load up on longs. If for the long term, in my opinion, I think this is a great price to if you trade options, definitely a good spot to look at some long, some call options on S at the S&P, QQQ, whatever you prefer to trade. I like QQQ personally. Um, but if you're a spy man, you can get them call options on spy man. But let's move on to gold. See what gold is looking like. Um, Gold is bullish. We did close bearish last week. Where we did ultimately hit my original target. It's not marked here, but we did hit the opening price. Hold on, I think yeah, this opening price was my target for last week. We hit it like the first on Monday. So, and then we reversed and retested this inefficiency. I like that we're staying above this daily fair value gap. But let's go back up to the weekly really quick. Um, yeah, so the bias is obviously bullish. Looking really strong, especially, and I anticipate prices will continue bullish with the dollar looking so questionable at these times, and with everything going on in the Middle East and on the global stage with the Trump administration doing Trump administration activities. I expect the dollar to continue. I mean, the dollar gold to to continue to rally higher to higher prices. So let's go back down to the daily. So yeah, we're respecting this fair value gap. I would like to see us go back up and retest um our price redelivered to the buy side liquidity. This is basically a relative equal high now. Let's mark that up. So we have these relative equal highs here, and this low is lower than this one. So this is definitely a high quality target. We don't necessarily have to get up there this week, but I don't see any reason why we wouldn't, unless price wants to kind of just stay within this range between this high and this low. But I kind of doubt that. Would like to see price continue high. I would like to see us gap up and continue higher. But we could potentially consolidate within this range. Price has been, even though price is still bullish, we have been. slowing momentum lately, even though we are trending upward. Um, we could continue that slow movement to higher prices. I'm not. There's nothing suggesting that we need to get up to these levels immediately, um, and that's fine. Let's look at the 4 hour really quick. Oh yeah, that's looking. Now I will say that we are following bearish order flow at the moment. There's a big gap down. We're respecting this inefficiency here. Hold on, let me draw that out really quick. So hold on. Oops. Dun, dun, dun. So we're respecting this. Oh, hold on, I forgot to put this. It's an inverse. My bad. There we go. Inverse fair value gap. So, but like I said, we are respecting this daily fair value gap. So I'd be looking for us to sometimes say, like inefficiencies will kind of act as a dealing range almost. And as you can see, we do have this high here and this low here. So it's looking like the price wants to break out to the upside, which I would like to see, and potentially get above this inverse fair value gap, or and use it as support. Use this mitigation block as support, and continue to higher prices. What we do from that point will be up in the air, but um, yeah, that's what I would like to see this week. I'd like to see us reach back up into this new week opening gap next week, to be honest with you. But for now, we are still respecting bearish order flow. So it's very possible for price to attempt to get above this inefficiency and fail. So that's definitely a possibility. Doesn't necessarily mean we go down significantly lower, but it's definitely a possibility that ought to be considered. Hold on, let me mark this daily low really quick. So yeah, price could reject from here and um, retest these lows down here. Um, but yeah, I would like to see us go higher, but this sell side liquidity is looking pretty nice right now, to be quite honest. And we have the market structure shift last week, so we could continue to lower this week and potentially retest this 1 week order block. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's trading playbook. Um, so with bias mapped and scenarios defined, let's close out. Before you go though, if you are training discipline, scan the QR code and join the free newsletter. I will send you the trading playbook, the liquidity rate playbook, sorry, and an all-purpose trading journal designed to track your progress. With that being said, I appreciate you being here. See you next stream. Shalom, shalom.